All right, welcome back to the breakout watch list for the upcoming week from June 21st to the 24th. In this video, I'll be covering the top 8 setups going into next week. Each of these stocks have strong fundamentals, strong technicals, or have strong volume patterns that lead to uptrends. A big thanks to MarketSmith for sponsoring this video. MarketSmith is a trading research platform that we're going to be using to break down each of the stocks. Here are the 8 stocks that we'll be covering today. I know the market's not in a very good position, and I don't want to be aggressive in my trading, but these are the top 8 setups going into next week. If the market bounces from its slightly oversold conditions, each of these stocks have been showing relative strength during the market sell-off. As we know, the stocks that are down the least and show the best relative strength while the market's in a downtrend are typically the ones that make the strongest moves off the low. With that said, let's jump to the charts and break down these setups. One thing that I noticed over the weekend was a lot of the stocks that were showing relative strength were actually Chinese stocks, so that's a theme that we'll be focusing on in this video. The first stock that we're going to be covering is CD, China Data Group. That's in the Internet Network group, 194th out of 197, so a weak group according to MarketSmith. Got a group strength rating of E there. But the individual stock has a accumulation distribution rating of A, meaning many of the up days come on heavier volume, many of the down days come on lower volume, the stock's being accumulated. It's got an overall composite rating of 72 and an individual relative strength rating of 58. But what I want to note here on relative strength is this put in a low on the 15th here of March at 375, then put in a higher low at 418, a higher low at 550, and then a higher low a week ago on the 13th at, let's see, what was the low here? 640, above the 50-day moving average. So while the market's putting in lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, this continues to put in higher lows, showing relative strength more recently. The last 3 days, we traded right around the declining 200-day simple moving average. You can see this is building up a pivot at 640, so a break over 640 is a potential entry point for CD. Another group that was showing relative strength recently, but not so much last week, was solar stocks, JKS, ENPH. Today we'll be covering ENPH again because out of the group, it is the one that is showing the best relative strength recently. So Energy Solar, 46th strongest group out of 197. A- group strength rating, B accumulation distribution, that could be a little bit higher. 97 overall composite rating, super strong there because it has a 96 earnings per share rating and an individual relative strength rating here at 92. You can see on the relative strength rating line, you can see kind of a cup and handle here, and we're right near our relative strength highs from last week, even though the price is much lower. That shows you how aggressively the general market was getting sold off, and this pulled back pretty strong from 214 down to 170. But on Friday, when that market pressure relieved just a little bit, QQQ was up 1 point something percent. This was up 8.9% on heavier than average volume, closing right near the high of the day, back above the 8, the 21, the 50, the 200-day simple moving average. So this is showing you that when the market presses down, it does kind of pull back as well to the key moving averages. But whenever we do get market pressure relieving, maybe we get a relief rally, an oversold bounce, anything like that, this is a name and a group that I want to keep a focus on. So a break over Friday's high, 187.68, is a potential entry point for ENPH. Back to the Chinese theme, we have NIO. This was a monster stock in 2020 and a little bit of 2021 that I traded. Really a chart that you should go back and study about bases and breakouts through 2020. Very, very clean trading there. But we're not in 2020, we're not in 2021, we're in 2022. And you can see this had been in a stage 4 decline for some time now. But sticking with the Chinese theme, this put in its initial low on May 12th, then put in a higher low, while the market was putting in lower lows and lower lows. This was on my focus list going into Friday. I didn't take the trade, but it was building out this nice pivot right at $20. When we got that market pressure getting taken off, the NASDAQ was up 1%, S&P 500 was green. This immediately broke out through that area, up 8.3% on slightly more than average volume. Closed right near the high of the day, which was nice. With this, if we see an oversold bounce continue, it's likely going to be too extended to buy. But if we see market pressure come in on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday as well, if this pulls back into 20 and gets supported around that area, that's where I would look to start a position and keep 3 to 5% stop loss there for NEO. Next, we have an IPO stock, PRM. You can see the blue dot here, meaning the relative strength line has hit a new high. Always a good thing to see on a stock that you want to be monitoring. This is in chemical specialty, 48th strongest group out of 197. A- group strength rating, B accumulation distribution, 71 composite with an 81 individual relative strength rating. Profit, sales, earnings, not great up until last quarter when they grew by 283%. Earnings, sales up 70, after-tax profit margin up 65%. Fund ownership actually did increase from 33 to 40, which is nice to see. And kind of looking within the group of 47 stocks, this is 10th on relative strength rating, number 3 on accumulation distribution, and 25 middle of the road on overall composite basis. You can see the cup and handle, really nice entry point would have been Friday. Again, it's tough to get in and build some exposure when the market's just lifting off its lows, so I didn't take this trade either, just kind of monitoring it. Similar to NEO, if we see more market pressure come back, I want to see this area, the 1250, 1240 area, be supported, and then kind of U-turn as market pressure lifts again. If we just bounce immediately on Monday, entry potentially breaking over $12, but you're going to have to use an arbitrary 3%, 5% stop there because from 12 to 11, where the key moving averages are, is too extended for you to manage risk. So market pressure coming in, we want to see this 11.50 or at least $11 hold as support. Market pressure lifting, we want to see a clean break over 12. Next, we have another IPO, PRVA. This is in computer software medical, 145th strongest group out of 197. So not a very strong group, D+ group strength rating, but it does have B accumulation distribution, a 93 overall composite rating with a 92 individual relative strength. Fundamentally, very strong stock, earnings per share up 67, 63, 20, 33. Sales are improving by over 20%, 47% this last quarter, year over year. And after-tax profit margins improving as well. So fundamentally, very strong. Not the strongest group, but within the group of 35 stocks, we are second on earnings per share, second on relative strength, and number one overall composite basis, which is good to see. Fund ownership also increasing to 11, to 14, 31, 47. Not something that you see across the board. Again, as the market was in a downtrend under all the key moving averages, institutions were taking risk off, liquidating positions, but they're building positions in this stock. So something to keep note of. Eventually put in a low here on the 12th, rallied, putting in a higher low, while the market's pressing lower and lower. Another one that got out really nice on Friday, up 8.1% on heavier than average volume, closing right near the high of the day. If we see continuation to the upside, this $29 pivot where we had previous resistance is a potential entry point. Or like the others, if we come in, market pressure comes in, and we want to see this supported at 26.50 area, right around the 8-day EMA. I got 3 more stocks to cover, but really quick, if you guys are enjoying this video, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I make this breakout watch list video every Sunday and do other trading related videos. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get back to it. The next stock that we have is UTHR. I want to go to the weekly chart really quick on this because you could see we had previous resistance, and we break out of that previous resistance clean on heavy volume, closing right near, actually closing 100% right on the high of that week. From there, we've had 3 weeks of below average volume up until last week, which was quad witching as well, pulling back right to the previous resistance, now turned potential support area. So that was on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, you could see we broke under the 8-day EMA, but once we hit the 21 EMA, the rising 21 EMA, found some support along that previous resistance, now support area. So it makes sense that we're kind of bouncing and chopping through there. With this, I want to see a break over Friday's high, 222.14 as a potential entry point, manage my risk against 220 or the declining, or flat now, 21 EMA there for UTHR. Next, we have VERU. This is in medical products, 155th out of 197, so not a very strong group. This is very much a technical and momentum play. This stock has the ability to break out very quickly, very powerful, and then for you to manage your risk by moving your stop immediately up to even, taking some profit off the top, and then letting it run if it's ready to do so. But you'd see this went from 4 all the way to 17.5, very kind of loose and choppy action here. But what I like most recently is we pull back to the 50-day simple moving average, we find support on that, and we rally back up to the 8 and 21 EMA, up 7% while the NASDAQ was just up 1 on Friday. So as market pressure relieves, this immediately shoots back up, bouncing right where we expected it to bounce. You also have an HVC, a high volume close here from April 11th with the close at 12.28. So we're right around that area as potential support as well. With this, you have 1, 2, 3 days right around the same high. So a break over 1306. Let's see, what was Friday's high? 1306. So break over 1306 is a potential entry point. But again, this one has too much room to the 50-day moving average, to Friday's low, to use that as a stop. So you're going to have to use an arbitrary 3%, 5%, whatever you're comfortable with, but probably size down a little bit. This is a volatile stock. And last stock that we're going to cover today is VIVO. This is another one where I want to go to the weekly chart really quick. You can see a beautiful cup handle with a shakeout on Friday, shaking out under the previous 2 weeks lows, under the 10-week moving average, but then we rally, close right at the high of the week and right near this potential breakout point. So going back to the daily chart here, you'd see on Friday, much heavier volume. This is a lighter traded stock. I should have led with that. 346,000 shares traded on average. So if liquidity is a tight requirement for you, not one for your watch list, which is fine. But nice cup, handle, little shakeout, and then we rally back up. Looking for a break over $29 as a potential entry on the upside to this. If it comes back in, it is a little too illiquid for me to kind of buy a pullback. I want to be buying on strength, buying on a breakout with volume support coming through there. Or I missed this trade, which is fine. But that's VIVO, again, weekly chart, beautiful cup and handle. We're just looking for that break over 29 as a potential entry point. And that's going to be the breakout watch list video for the upcoming week. If you guys enjoyed yourself, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I make this video every Sunday along with other trading related videos. One more time, a big thanks to our sponsor MarketSmith for sponsoring the video. If you guys enjoyed that trading research platform that we were just using, there's a link in the description below where you guys could try it out yourselves. And finally, if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on the other social media sites. Twitter, I'm at Nick Drendel, and then StockTwits, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, Nick_Drendel. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.